The Dallas rally against white supremacy.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
More than 2,000 people, at times growing tense.
I said we're equal. You have more hatred in your heart than we do.
You need help.
Tonight, the resounding message: there is no room for hate in Texas.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. At the height of today's protest, there were 2,300 people, the majority of them there to rally against hate.
It was mostly peaceful, but as night fell, a small faction of that crowd broke away, and things began to get tense.
You're trying so hard to erase our history because you know how great we are. Kings and queens is our heritage. We don't come from Africa. We come from Ethiopia. We come from Jerusalem.
That was the scene at the Confederate War Memorial. A big crowd was gathering there this evening, many of them with their face covered.
State police are on the ground. They're in SWAT gear surrounding the monuments, keeping protesters from jumping the barriers. And the city's mounted patrol also on scene, a large police presence in downtown tonight. Our crews have been in the middle of it all this evening. First, we want to get to Rebecca Lopez with the police response. Rebecca?
Well, the Dallas Police Department has shut down the cemetery here because it is too tense out here. You can see where the mounted patrol units are trying to disperse the crowds. They keep moving around. What you're seeing now are officers in riot gear, and they're basically holding the line. They told me earlier that they are not wanting to make any arrests because they believe that it would make things worse. They're basically trying to keep this crowd under control, but there were people that were shouting at each other. You had a group of the Antifa people, who are a radical group that's basically shouting at some Confederate folks that were here, and so you had a lot of people shouting and people throwing some punches. Dallas police again did not want to move in. They thought it would escalate the situation. They are just trying to keep the situation under control right now. What you see right now are your crime response teams from the different police patrol stations. Right here, over here is Sergeant James Bristow, and he's got a pepper ball gun. Those are the non-lethal weapons that they will use. Sergeant Bristow was here on July the 7th, and a lot of these officers were here that night. But they are here trying to hold the peace in Dallas tonight to keep this from getting out of control. Also, as you can see, this group is still here. They're not wanting to move off the sidewalk, and some people with some tiki torches have just shown up. So Dallas police just trying to keep things calm. Over here, you will see that they have dump trucks. Those dump trucks are to try to keep cars from getting into the crowd. Dallas police trying to have a very measured approach so that this does not continue to escalate. It was very tense. There was a group of Confederate guys here a little while ago, and they actually asked for DPD to help them leave safely. It got very, very scary there for a little while because they were all shouting at each other, and someone in the crowd shouted, "Let's kill them," and that's when they decided it was time to go. And now Jason Whiteley is on the other side of what's going on. He is my colleague here at Channel 8, and so Jason, let's go to you on what's happening on the other side.
Yeah, Rebecca, as you mentioned, I want to reiterate here, the good news is it was loud at times. It's been loud for about 90 minutes or so here, but it has been peaceful the entire time. That's most important. Let's take a picture of what we are seeing right now. We're at the corner of Marilla and Young Street. If you're familiar with downtown Dallas, this is where the big statue of all the cattle is, right downtown, right next to the Omni Hotel, across from the Aloft Hotel as well here. Now, police were anticipating that a counter-protest would show up. The alt-right, perhaps Nazis, perhaps people who are supporting the Confederate monument, the Confederate War Memorial here in Pioneer Plaza. That did not happen. There were not any alt-right members out here. Instead, it was the alt-left, the Antifa crowd, the anti-fascist crowd. That is the one that showed up tonight. That's the one that got into several arguments. As Rebecca mentioned, we were sitting right there on the police line watching essentially state troopers and Dallas police officers essentially extract a handful of people who supported the monument, pull them out of the crowd to try to lessen tensions down here. The fire department, Dallas Fire Rescue, has been down here also, not treating anybody at all, but instead just trying to offer another set of public support out here for the police officers. Garland PD is here. We've seen Grand Prairie Police Department. We've also seen state troopers here, a number of them as well. The good news is it has been peaceful. People upset and angry, but they have not been violent at all. So we're going to see if we get a better idea of what's going on the other side of this crowd here and come back to you in a few. Back to you guys.
Okay, Jason Wiley reporting for us. Thank you, Jason. As he mentioned, some tense moments there, but this rally did have a much better start. People filling the plaza before the sun went down with signs of support. One saying, "You belong, stay strong, be blessed. We are one America." Another reading, "Texas is big, but there is no room for hate."